This is Polykill, where two men, outnumbered by their games and at war with time, undertake the quest of defeating their lengthy backlogs. Please adjust your seat and prepare your ears for the banter of your hosts, Jake and Travis.
Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to an all-new episode of the Polykill podcast. As always, we're your hosts. I'm Travis, and I'm sitting across from the also hungover and tired Jake. Hello, Jake.
Hello, Travis. Yes, I am tired. I'm surprisingly not as hungover as I thought I'd be.
We should be more hungover. I agree with you. Maybe we're still drunk.
I don't know. I hope not, because I just drove 4 hours.
You did. You did. So for those of you who don't know, of course, we've spoke about it in the past. We are back from a Videogeddon.
Videogeddon. I don't even know. Do we even number this one?
26.
26, okay.
Yeah.
So
they all got numbers.
I think I showed up at 19 or 20.
Was that right?
So yeah, I've been doing these a while now.
No, good. Now, it's, as a veteran of them, I got to say, they've maintained quality over 26,
this was a good one, I feel like. We played a lot of video games.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do.
And had a great time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Absolutely.
So if we do sound a little zany, a little punchy, we're fitting this in. We're making it happen. Yeah. But we are coming off a 4-hour car ride, a rainy 4-hour car ride.
Yeah.
And we're coming back from a place that we didn't want to leave.
Correct.
But we're excited here to talk to you today. We've got a good episode, I think.
I think so, too. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right.
So if you're new to the show, generally what we do is we talk about the games that we're playing, the games that we've beaten, and occasionally the games that we have acquired or want to. And usually we'll wrap up with a bit of discussion. I think we've got a good one for you this episode, so hang on to your butts. It's going to be a ride.
I gotta say, I think we make the episode a lot more fun than it can be described.
I think so, too. I mean, I think, you have to experience it from back to front. You can't just read the description and be like, I got it.
What other things do you do back to front?
I read manga back to front because it's in Japanese and kind of goes from back to front.
Which way do you wipe?
It depends on the day. It's kind of like whether or not I ask for a receipt. After you make a transaction, they're like, do you want your receipt? It's completely random how I answer that.
Really? I'm always no.
I mean, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I kind of want a receipt, and sometimes I'm like, nah.
When do you want a receipt? Like, if you just don't trust the business?
I have no idea.
Like,
I say yes
document this for me, please.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the only time I could think of that I absolutely always request a receipt is in a place that doesn't normally give it to you, right? Like, if you go to a CVS or a Walmart or Target, they're always going to give you a receipt. But, like, usually at a restaurant, they're like, do you want your copy?
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
But the only time I ever do is when I spend a lot of money on food.
Oh, like a big amount.
Yeah.
You might do it for a big amount, just in case.
Like if it's like $6, I don't care.
Something you think you might return, maybe.
Yeah.
Clothes would be a good one for receipts.
Always.
We're getting in the weeds here.
Yeah.
All right. So we have actually put out quite a bit of content over the last week.
We have. We've pushed it out.
Yeah.
Pushed it out like an unwanted child.
Wow. Or a wanted one. Either way, you got to push those out.
Good point.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you head on over to polykill.com, you'll see that we did release some stuff pretty much daily. Of course, it started off with the Just Beat It videos that we're releasing pretty regularly now.
Yeah, we're doing good with that.
Doing great with that. And then I wrote a couple silly blogs.
You did? You had fun with them.
Just get a little caffeinated. And lately I've been a little stressed at work, and it was kind of nice to have a little window of opportunity to have fun with words.
Yeah.
It's just
sometimes
fun.
You just get so constrained with like trying to make everything sound technical and meeting specs and all that. And it's tiring. I don't do that as much as you do, but I do it some. And to be able to just type what comes into your brain is nice.
And getting in a good caffeinated state where you just feel like you're slaying. Like, we'll go to lunch and we'll be hanging out, and I'm like, I'm funny today. And I'm going to go type.
I'm going to go make sure that everyone has the opportunity to experience this. Whether or not they take me up on it is up to them. But I need to make sure that opportunity is available.
9 times out of 10, I'll go back and read it later and be like, this is garbage. But in the moment, I'm like,
this is fire.
Yeah, this is award-winning.
Yeah,
like,
it should win awards.
Absolutely.
Speaking of caffeine, I got a little caffeinated and made a pickup video.
You did?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I got really, my wife is currently working second shift. She's about to come off of that, though, so that's exciting.
Oh, good. For good reasons?
Yeah, for good reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, it's her choice. So, anyway, it was one rainy Saturday. We were getting that, overspray from the hurricane. Not, any harm his way at all, but getting some rain off of it. And it was a Saturday, and I was just sitting at home by myself. And we had like a late breakfast / early lunch. So I guess you'd call it maybe, I don't know, I'll throw a couple of words together, like a brunch.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's I think I'm the first one. So we ate, and then she left for work shortly thereafter, and I was just sitting around. I played a few games, watched some YouTube videos, and just had a cup of coffee, had a Diet Coke, and then followed up with another Diet Coke. And normally caffeine doesn't consciously affect me, right? Normally it's just it gets me through the day, and if I don't have it, I notice it. But when I do have it, it feels normal. But I was at the point where I was so caffeinated, I was realizing just how jittery I was, and I was like, I need to do something with this. And it was raining, so I didn't want to go outside, and I didn't really want to leave the house. So I was like, you know what I'll do? I've gotten a lot of Switch games. I'll make a pickup video. So that's what I did, and ended up doing like 3.5, maybe 4 takes of the thing, and I had enough energy to get through all of them. And there, it was like 15-minute video, and the one that I ended up keeping was 14 minutes, 15 seconds, and it was non-stop games. Like, it was crazy, and it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And, of course, I get the privilege of editing those things. And
you got the preview, yeah.
And it's fun because you make it really easy, because when you're caffeinated like that and you're talking fast or whatever, there's not many opportunities for me to cut anything out. You're just rapid fire.
I'm just rambling.
Like, I usually, if I record a video, I'm going through and cutting out all of my takes, and I do all of my takes kind of together, and then I'll just crop it out later.
Right.
But you just blitzkrieged it. And I do want to apologize to people. I don't know why it's only in one audio channel. I don't know why that happened, but it's funny. It's a great pickup video as far as pickup videos go. It's good.
Yeah, I tried.
It's good stuff.
Because I guess I do that with the vinyl, and sometimes I explain a lot, because a lot of what I like in music is not necessarily widely known. So I like to give context. But with the games, it was just like, all y'all know what this is. I'm just gonna, except for like a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's perfect.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain, every Mario game or everything, but you get a.
I got the Count Lucanor, and I figured
that's tell people about that.
People don't know about this.
It'd actually be kind of nice to put some video game footage over that, but it's a lot of work.
We're just trying too much work.
It's a lot of work, but
more work than I have time for.
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, I learned about a lot of games because you pick them up.
Yeah.
It's good that we put our creative energies, our caffeinated energies toward creating content.
Right.
It's good. Because I'm very susceptible to caffeine. Like
You are.
We got here today, I got the coffee going, I'm already
I can
motor
tell
mouth.
You're buzzing. I can tell that I've picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, part of being on the show, it will do that too. But
yeah, I mean, it could be dangerous. So we could be doing worse things with it. We could be.
We totally could.
Just popping amphetamines and starting, cults or something like that. But we're not doing that.
We're not doing that. Not yet.
Slowly sipping coffee and trying to talk our way through a podcast. But please go check those out. So and I also did an unboxing. I guess I'll bring that up.
Make sure to bring that up. That was fun.
Yeah, and that's a good segue anyway. So we'll go ahead and take it into recent pickups and on the radar. And so my pickup, and I did mention it last week because I was excited about it, but I did get my hands on it in the last 2 weeks, and that was the Holy Diver, the NES Collector's Edition by Castlemania Games. Go to castlemania.com if you'd like, one for yourself.
But this is not an affiliate thing. We're not affiliated with them.
We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. Just.
But if you like that kind of stuff, you'd like to.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good package for a collector's edition.
Impressive.
Yeah, and so I did the unboxing video. Yeah. I did one other one for goof's sake for the mystery box.
Yeah, that was fun.
Part of Cartridge Club, cartridgeclub.org. But for this, I really was just, digging into a box, and I didn't know what was in it. It was going to be fun. And it was really hot in here. I sweated all the way through it.
You mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah. I tried not to sweat on the wares. I was very careful, but I didn't want to,
Yeah.
But it's a limited edition thing, 2,900 made. I had like a number associated with the one I got, which is always fun.
Always.
And obviously it's a great game. It's 30 years old.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting that it's existed. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, it seems like a homebrew.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, not that it's like low quality or like suspect, but it's just like we didn't hear about this game and we didn't have it. And
Yeah, I mean, I was late to the party on it, and I'd sort of always shut myself off from Famicom games because, I don't have a Famicom, and I didn't really ever care to research them or know a lot about them.
Sure.
So it was interesting that I'm thinking this one has so much, I know that the references that they're making are global, but it seems like such an American thing.
Yeah,
like
it's very rooted in American culture.
I mean, they're all Americans, all of the characters, all of the rooted, characters that are in there, which are supposed to be, of course, Ronnie James Dio.
Right.
And then they make references to Randy being Randy Rhodes, of course, and then Zach Wilde, and then Ozzy's also a character in the game. Right. So he's like, why was this never released in the U.S.? This was sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, totally.
And it's such a Castlevania game. I mean, it's well made. It's good, solid game. So
yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So I got that. So please, to round out our content there, we have a couple blogs, real silly blogs, a pickup video from Jake, and an unboxing video for me. So please go check that out and support our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We could certainly use the love there.
Absolutely.
Did you pick anything up outside from what you showed there in that video?
I didn't. I mean, the video was a lot. I mean, I think, and even honestly, since that video's come out, I've gotten a few more games, but I'm just not going to talk about them yet because I feel embarrassed getting all these games.
Don't.
But I'm getting them, good deals, and I'm trying to, be smart about it. Like Best Buy the other day, they had, I'll mention this one, I guess, Rayman Legends, like the Ultimate Edition. It was 50% off, just so it's like $20 brand new. So I snagged that. For Switch, obviously. The only thing that's that I haven't gotten that I almost did but just didn't because we were going to Geddon is the new Tomb Raider. So I might pick that up next week.
And you'd get that on...
I'll get that on Xbox One.
On the Xbox One.
Yeah, because it is 1X enhanced and I want to get all them pretty visuals.
Is that even coming out for the Switch?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, it's just going to be on your PC, PS4, and the old Xbox.
Right on.
Yeah, so no real... sustainable pickups.
Well, what might you be picking up that's coming out over the next couple weeks?
Let's talk about the radar. So we're finally kind of getting into that area where the games are starting, the releases are starting to kind of pick up a little bit.
It's getting hot.
It's starting to get a little hot. I guess the one that I have, and we're looking at the range between September 24th and October 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got two, and the first one's Super Mario Party.
Yeah,
I really want this. It looks like a ton of fun. Have you watched any of the footage of the mini games and stuff?
I saw some stuff like just from that initial trailer where you can put your Switch screens together and draw a line,
which is apparently like crazy cool.
Yeah.
It was like really cool in person. But they've got a lot of cooperative stuff. Like you got to row in a boat with each other, so it's like 4 players and you're all rowing in a boat, or trying to catch fish with a net, or like trying to sort things, and it looks just like super fun.
Right.
And obviously it's a Switch game, so I need to get it, but it's one that's kind of high on my list to kind of play.
You can see yourself maybe playing some of it with your parents, and
like that's sort of the provocation, I guess, to get this sooner than later is because one, I know the price isn't going to go down, and two, I had a lot of fun playing 1-2 Switch with my mom, and I figured this is something she would have a blast with too, because it's it's non-video gaming in a way.
Right.
It's not.
They're transferring experiences onto a video game, but
exactly.
It's still I understand.
Yeah, so that one's high on my list. I actually went ahead and put some money down on that at GameStop the other day, so I'll be getting that on release day.
Very cool. For me, I'm looking at, of course, and what I'm sure you're looking at as well, the first episode of Life is Strange 2 will be dropping on September 27th.
Yeah.
On the big stuff, not the Switch, but the PS4, Xbox
I'm hoping
One,
that eventually these will make their way to Switch. I mean, it's a perfect platform for that. But, I do have to play this game because I loved everything about the first one. Obviously, we've raved about that game for 2.5 years, I think, or something, the first one.
Right.
And then I really liked the Captain Spirit Awesome Adventures, and then I finally saw the full pre-release trailer to the whole season that dropped, I think, on Friday or Thursday, and for season 2, that is, and it looks awesome. So I'll be playing it for sure. I'm kind of torn on whether or not to get it now rather than wait and buy the whole thing, but I think there may be some reasons for me to go ahead and buy this now that we'll get into later.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying there. Yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah. I'm excited for it now. Strangely, I still haven't played that Betweener.
I don't know how it's going to connect, or if it will, or if it's just like in this fictional universe they've created.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to connect. But you should play it though. It's super easy to get through.
I just honestly keep forgetting to.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's a good hour and a half. It's an easy game to play through.
I'll need to jump on that. But anyway, that's Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 dropping soon. I'm also looking at, and it's a game that I pre-ordered, and I don't pre-order often, but it was because Amazon was like, hey, we're going to take away everything that was awesome about this program. Yeah. And so myself and you, of course, and our friend Scott at VG Collectaholic went wild
we went
there.
Wild. I didn't go as wild as Scott did, but
Scott, he's a wild guy. He goes wild. He goes wild. But I only pre-ordered 3 games, and one of them was Mega Man 11.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that. It looks so really cool. Good.
Just does look good. I played the demo. Which I'm not a Mega Man aficionado. I never got into them, back in their heyday, and never followed the series. I will eventually be buying these, right? The 1 and 2 and the X 1 and 2 collections on Switch, but I'm just not that good at them, so I don't enjoy them. I think it'd be more fun to do like you and Mickey do and sit down and power through them like that.
That's the only way really I can stomach to get through them.
Yeah.
I mean, with the password system and all that stuff, I could plow through it on my own, but it's always more fun to have someone else interested to pass the controller around on and all that stuff. So yeah, so I'm excited for Mega Man 11.
Secondary gratification of playing it because I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe this modernized version, I mean, it's obviously the same style. It's not going to be that different from other platformers nowadays, I don't think. I think it's going to infuse...
It's still pretty tough.
Of course it's tough.
The demo that I played was like, it still was like tough.
But visually, it looks so good.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's just the perfect mix between new and old that you kind of look for and that kind of thing. So
I definitely like it.
So that's October 2nd, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. Of course, I'll be getting that on the Switch.
Absolutely.
And then one that we share, it's an odd one.
Yeah, no, it's odd, but it's also not odd. It makes a lot of sense for both of us to want this game.
Really?
It does.
Well, explain that.
This is Fist of the North Star, Lost Paradise. So, obviously, you have, I guess, some buy-in on this because didn't you recently play through this or buy this?
I played the NES version of the game.
Exactly, the NES version.
Which was as enjoyable as stabbing your foreskin with a fork. But it's interesting.
It's interesting. The reason I have buy-in is this is from the development team of the Yakuza series.
And I know that this game is going to be very similar in
so
concept.
It's going to have that. That's a buy-in for me because I love their approach to game development.
And that's almost exactly why I'm interested in it too. When I see like the comparisons to the Yakuza series, which I have not played, but I know there's a lot of good things about, and there's this, I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. This is maybe my little Yakuza experience I can have because I am sort of interested. I've not seen any of the anime that it's based on.
Right.
I've only played one shitty NES game version of it that was made 30 years ago. So like my tie-in's loose.
Sure.
Very loose.
But you've got enough curiosity there.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
What could it possibly entail?
It looks
How
wild.
will it go?
I'll say I've watched some of the gameplay footage that's been released, and it looks just balls to the wall fun. So,
do you think we should maybe take a try at a couple episodes of the old anime? Get some context.
I will do that.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat if I can find it.
Now, is Lost Paradise, is that the name of like a version of that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
really
is it like you don't know anything about that?
I just know that there is an anime on which this property is based.
All right. Well, we'll move on from that then. But it is interesting, and it will be coming out on October 2nd as well.
Yeah.
On the PS4 only.
Correct.
All right. Well, what happened last time?
Let's check it out.
Previously on Polykill, Jake goes hard in on the Switch and details his recent pickups for the console while Trav finally gets through Streets of Rage 2 along with the show's sponsor, Mickey. Jake commits to playing the all-new Spider-Man while Trav relapses into sports games. Listener questions get answered and the third anniversary of the podcast gets celebrated for the topic of discussion.
And we're back. All right. So, good episode last time. Of course, celebrate 3 big old years as a podcast.
3 whole years. That's crazy. Like, when you mentioned the other day that, like, some of our content was, like, put up on YouTube in 2015, I was like, what?
I know.
Like, even though that is literally 3 years ago, it just seems like so long ago now.
Yeah, yeah. And none of those have breached 80 views.
No, of course not. But still, it was, it's crazy that we've been at this that long and, you know, no end in sight.
Yeah, I know, that's great. Yeah, so, I mean, it's fun. Again, to bring it up what we said last time, if you told me 3 years ago that we'd still be doing this in 3 years, I would have probably not believed it. I thought this was going to be sort of let's see where this goes, this little adventure, and I could see us getting a few episodes in and then maybe petering out somehow.
Right.
But no, man, this is like, I'm not saying I live for it, but I do, like, I schedule a lot of my life around this. I make this happen. I've gotten, over the course of the last 3 years, lost 2 parents. I got married, and I'll be having a kid. Major life changes.
Big life events.
On schedule for this podcast.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I have not had any of those things happen, but I've still been here.
Right. You even missed a couple.
I
you had
totally
to.
missed a couple.
But I mean, it's not a knock on you, but it's like, it's crazy that you only missed a couple.
Right.
Like 3 years we've managed to get together.
Yeah.
Roughly every 2 weeks to sit down here and just talk about what we've been playing.
I know.
It's pretty impressive.
I love it.
Also, you took a turn at the old Spider-Man there, and I had a sports game relapse, which might come to an end now, given that my favorite sports college football team has let me down, and I am no longer motivated, at least for the time being, to touch anything related to sports.
Right.
So
you can get back into some actual video games.
Yeah, I'm over it now. I'll move back on to other stuff.
Other things. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
So games that we've completed?
Yeah. You go ahead since you've got a few more than me. And ironically, and I'll just lead off by saying this, you probably saw the tweets if you follow the podcast, but I mean, like, as soon as we recorded an episode, you went bam, bam, and beat 2. That was hilarious. Last week. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, right after. I mean, usually, I guess we recorded on, a Saturday last time?
It was a Sunday.
It was a Sunday. And it's a relaxing day.
Yeah.
And I finally had time to get in there and go wild.
Boom, boom, bow.
Yeah, so one of those was, of course, Detroit.
You're right. Yeah, you've been playing on this one a while. You said you had to kind of be in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, I need to be on my game, but I wasn't, evidently, because all of my endings were garbage. Now I love the game, and I love that my endings can be garbage.
Right, that's an awesome possibility.
Right,
I like that.
Me too. I was pretty dissatisfied with all of my endings, but I was pretty crazy that they can really just kick me in the nuts like that as a video game. They're not holding my hand to the end and being like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" They were like, "You fucked up, and you're done."
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Now,
I like that.
One of the obviously, when it comes to games like this, where the endings are, several, they're very varied. Right. They could be anything. You want to find someone else that's played it and kind of talk to them about what they've done.
Sure, talk through it.
And so, of course, Musty Hobbit there from the Second Breakfast YouTube channel and our friend Briz.
Yeah.
We got a little Twitter chat going there. Those are the other two guys that I had known that had beaten
Completed
it.
The game,
and if you've beaten it, come at me with your experiences. I'd like to hear them all. But none of us had the exact same story to tell.
That's so cool.
And the threads that we had woven were very, very separate.
That's great.
Almost to the point that it almost didn't feel like any of us had played the same game.
That's impressive.
It is very impressive. So none of our endings were the same. None of them were really even close, to be fair. And so we were really impressing each other with you got to do what? You did what? That happened to where? And so it's worth it to play it and then also have that buddy. So I can't wait for you to play it.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear how yours ends. All of my endings are tragic and awful and frustrating, but
sure.
I got to say, if I had to make the same choices over again in the game, I really don't think I'd do much different, to be fair.
That's cool.
Because I really don't know where a lot of it went wrong. I can't really point to one specific
It wasn't
thing.
one big... Kind of like some of those adventure games where it's like...
That fucked me. That point.
Yeah, that
I was good up till now, made one mistake, and the whole thing's over.
Yeah. This is where it went off the rails.
Yeah, there are some
I'm sure
things
there are
like
big
that.
Crossroad moments, yeah.
Certainly, but also just, you can just trend down a path that just sort of sets you up later for something.
Do you find yourself sticking to a certain mode when you're playing those games? Is you're interpreting these characters' choices as you interpret the character, and even though you feel like maybe things are spiraling a little bit, you kind of want to stay true to the character and continue down that frame of mind, or do you kind of play that as this entity that's a third party that's observing as I shouldn't do this, I should do that?
I think, and this game does it really well, where even though you have three characters that you control in the game,
right,
and they're all in three very different environments,
right,
but they're still like a blank canvas. You are basically creating who they are by your actions and everything like that.
But does the context inform how you interpret them?
Sure. I mean, yeah, for certain.
Yeah.
But it's all based on... I always attribute them to what I would do.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was driving at. Yeah.
Right, which is I try to basically stick to my approach to a lot of those games are peaceful moral good.
Sure.
And evidently that doesn't always work out for me.
You need to be a little more pragmatic sometimes.
Well, and I try to be logical. There are certain sacrifices the game forces you to make.
Right.
But you have to make the choice, the better of two evil choices. But yeah, that's sort of the approach I take.
Okay.
But there's some other stuff in there. I mean, you should play it. We should talk about it.
I definitely plan to.
At length, because it's really hard to get into this gritty, all these scenarios without spoiling anything, and we don't want to do that here. But I do recommend the game to everybody because above all else, it is gorgeous.
I've heard this.
I mean, the facial stuff is just amazing. Sometimes I couldn't believe I was playing a game. It was just so beautiful, the way the mouths matched up with the speech and all that was better than I'd ever seen. And I know this is you're manipulating a movie. You're not playing
right, fully articulated characters.
So it's they had a lot more, I guess, resources and power they could put toward that aspect of it. But it was so important to the game that it makes it. Just having all that fidelity in the face and the emotions and all that stuff.
That's very cool.
It's very good.
It's very cool.
Another one, I'll do another one real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about mine for a minute, so feel free to just roll through these.
Oh, yeah, I'll just do them all then. So the other one that I beat on that Sunday was the Cartridge Club Portable Game of the Month, Gargoyle's Quest on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
And it is a predecessor to, of course, Demon's Crest. No, not Soul Blazer, but Demon's Crest was on the Super Nintendo. Of course, Gargoyle's Quest 2 on the Game Boy. So there's a little...
lineage,
a little bit of a series there. It crosses a few consoles, but so fun. It's perfect for me. It's just and I think I talked a little bit about how it operates in the last episode, but it's a perfect length, I think, especially for a Game Boy game. You could maybe get through it 4 to 5 hours And
It's decent. It's more than I was expecting, frankly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but in a fair way. I think it's just right in difficulty, at least for me personally.
Cool.
I enjoyed it a lot, so I did beat that one as well. Another one, and these were two that I had written little goofy, dumb blogs about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
called them game site chats, and just sort of got goofy with them. You can check those out on our website, polykill.com. But one of them was California Spleen.
Yeah.
Which is California Speed, of course,
Yes,
the sabotage action. California Spleen, I don't know. Would it be just be wearing sunglasses and then being out on the beach? I got that beach buddy?
Yeah,
Spleen? No, all right. Well, I did play that, and that is a racing game, of course, an arcade racing game. It doesn't really stand out too much other than I thought the tracks were really interesting.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, in your fireside chat, game side chat.
Yeah. I get a little Roosevelty with it, I thought, maybe. But yeah, the cool thing about those tracks, they all start out pretty normal. You're just on a highway with cars. It looks nothing, too different from like a Cruising USA or something like that.
Right. That's what it made me think of.
But then they all morph into something crazy, or not like too crazy, but something different or unexpected at the end. Like one I talked about in the blog was that you're going through, I guess it's supposed to be Silicon Valley, and then eventually you're just kind of going through the inside of a computer, and then you're going like through a cable and a port and kind of traveling through the computer, and then you just kind of come out the other side back onto the street. And so it has these little California-esque things about it.
That's cool.
You drive on top of the Golden Gate Bridge, you jump across aircraft carriers. Like, it's pretty neat for the N64. I was impressed. Like, when you see California Speed, I'm thinking it's going to be based in reality, rooted. You're just going to travel through San Diego. You're going to race in L.A. It's just going to be different cityscapes. But they really embraced the California aspect of it.
Made it a video game.
Made it a fun video game.
Yeah.
Super fun, super arcadey, but not too difficult, I don't think.
Sure. Cool.
And then Xena Warrior Princess, the Talisman of Fate. Why would you play this, Travis? Travis, why would you play Xena Warrior Princess, the Talisman of Fate? Why not?
Yeah.
I just happened to find out it was a fighting game.
See, I would have not expected that.
Me
to be
neither.
a fighting game. Yeah.
Me neither. I was just totally expecting some action adventure thing.
See, I would think that it was a Gauntlet or Diablo style game.
Maybe even that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out fighting game.
Okay.
Not terrible. I mean, I'm not a fighting game expert, but it wasn't the worst thing I'd ever done in my life before. But yeah, check out more about that on the blog as well. But beat that. It takes about 20 minutes.
Oh, that's nothing.
Big Xena, mash some C buttons.
Cool.
Run through it.
Boom.
14, 15 minutes.
Very nice.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Boom.
Done.
Roasted.
What you got?
Well, I beat one game, but it was one expansive experience, and that is Spider Dude.
Spider Dude does whatever Spider Dude does. Does or can?
Would.
Would do? Would
I don't
can?
know. I don't know.
Canned wood?
Sure.
Go on.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man. Obviously, everyone's talking about this game. It's all the rage right now. It's kind of blown up in terms of numbers of sales. It sold an average of 1.1 million copies per day through its first 3 days of release.
Jeez.
It's now officially PlayStation's fastest selling game ever. So it makes sense. Obviously, Spider-Man has a larger audience than just video games. I can't imagine that there's some people that didn't have a PS4 that bought one just to play this.
Sure, or that fancy PS4 that has a Spider-Man right on it.
Which those sales numbers doesn't even include those. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I don't even think it includes digital. So, like, it went wild. So, the game itself, I think I mentioned on the last podcast before that I had, just gotten it and just kind of gotten started in it a little bit. But that game just completely absorbed all of my gaming time and pretty much all of my free time for the week after I bought it. It just became an addiction, and I can't think of part of my motivation to play it was I didn't want anything spoiled because I knew there were some big story points that I didn't want to be spoiled. But the other half of that was, or maybe even more than half of it, was just how damn fun the game is to play. It just feels so good to move around and the swinging mechanics and the traversal and all of it. It's just, I don't know. It's been a very, very long time that I've played, since I played a game that made me want to play it as much as that one did.
Very cool.
I would say even it's more mechanically satisfying in many ways than God of War, which a lot of people are comparing it to God of War for
Game of the Year
reason.
comparisons, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously the two biggest PS4 exclusives to come out in ages. Yeah, I mean, you can't really compare them on a lot of levels. But anyway, I finally beat the game. I think I probably spent around 30 hours in it. I got 91% of the game complete. I'm just missing a few side missions. And I got 80% of the trophies, which is kind of crazy for me because I never go after trophies.
Were
But the
you
game is
actively
just
trophy seeking?
actively doing it because it's just so fun to move around. It's just like most of the trophies are based around finding things or getting the collectibles, and usually I don't give a shit about those. But this is just like, I want to go do that. I want to go find all these backpacks. I want to go hit all these radio towers. I want to catch all these pigeons.
Because there's something else to them too. When you find them, there's things to absorb from that, right? Like the backpacks have stuff that are kind of neat in them, right?
Those are cool. There's mild story points to some of these, but some of them are literally just go take a picture of this.
Huh.
So it's fun. But anyway, long story short, this is easily on my short list for Game of the Year, and it's one that I will definitely go back to. I'm definitely going to get the DLC and play it when it comes out, and I really just can't wait to see what else Insomniac does with this, version of Spider-Man, because it is a unique interpretation of Spider-Man, even though that there are, story points that are expected and the characters are all the same. It's very much their own version of it, and I really, really, really liked it a lot.
Very, very cool, man.
I will say that the ending of the game, I teared up at the ending of the game. Like full on.
Because the uncle died.
No.
Oh.
No.
I know he does.
He does.
Yeah.
He does, but not in the game.
Okay.
I can't think of a game that I've played maybe ever that actually kind of moved me that much. So It was very, very impacting.
Well, that is interesting news. I didn't realize that old zany Spider-Man could pull on the old heartstrings that way.
Incredibly good writing.
Especially a staunch stone of a man like you.
I am not that.
I've never once seen you emotional about anything ever.
That's probably true.
Yep. Well, that's good. I'm looking forward to playing it at some point.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to.
Kind of, maybe I'm bumping it up above God of War at this point, because while God of War, I'm sure, is an amazing game, the amount people are just having more. People are more amazed at that game. I feel like people are having more fun with it. Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely more fun game. God of War is more of like reading a great book in a way, and it's very mechanically satisfying. Great game, and it'll still probably be my game of the year just because I like the mythology more.
Mm-hmm.
But Spider-Man, in terms of a video game, it's so damn fun.
Now, is there going to be a Jake's Take video about Spider-Man?
There might be.
I
might elaborate a little bit more and go in full spoiler mode for that one.
Yeah, it's fun to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'd be down to edit that for you if you wanted to draw that up there. All right. So that's been Spider-Man. So good job there. Getting a beat.
That's a big one, too.
And that's a pretty decent-sized beat.
And I beat it within a week of release, which is always fun.
Definitely. Yeah. Now you're
that's exactly what I do with God of War.
Right. You're in on the hype. You're in on the talk. You're in on the chatter.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool stuff.
Well, let's take it into other folks that have just beaten a game. The Polykillers just beat it. Shimon. I'm sure that went well. All right. So, remember a while back there, I said that we had a guy who's started listening to the show, bought him a T-shirt,
right?
Was plowing through some old episodes.
Oh, when do I get my cut for the shirt proceeds?
They go to your sister.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I gave her the $6 she got a long time ago.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
She's good. Yeah, I got $4 more. She owes us a horchata shirt.
She does owe us a horchata.
So she will get paid when she produces. But anyway, so he was burning through our episodes,
right?
And we were like, maybe don't do that. I mean, you can, but maybe maybe try not to do like just the good ones.
Yeah.
But now he's stuck with it. Evidently, he's hashtagging. So Cole McAllister at C_McAllister16 finished inside.
Oh, he finally finished inside.
It's that you're officially a man.
Yeah, feels good.
Goosh. Give it the old goosh. There's a lot of jokes about that one. I like it. Finishing inside. It's good. But he also finished Far Cry 5, Super Hot, Limbo, and Ori and the Blind Forest.
That's crazy.
It's a good crop.
I mean, those are great games.
We featured all those on the podcast at some point or another.
I mean, I haven't played Far Cry 5, but obviously the rest of those. I also didn't play Ori, so never mind. I played a few of those.
Yeah, those are all great.
They're great.
Between Limbo and Inside and Ori and the Blind Forest, that similar flavor.
Right.
It's all good. It's all real good.
All good stuff. Also, Flock of Nerds at Flock of Nerds, who invented 5 new sex positions called Sparkle 2, WrestleFest, The Simpsons, A Way Out, and Spider-Man.
Wow, those are fun sex positions.
They are very fun sex positions. I butchered that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
I had no idea where that was going. I should have read it before.
I wish you would.
I just looked at it. I was like,
a sex position called the WrestleFest.
WrestleFest.
Could be fun.
Could be very fun.
Sounds like a natural thing, but A Way Out may be my favorite.
That's really good. Right. Spider-Man could be a fun one, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and The Simpsons, of course, I don't know what that entails.
I don't know what Sparkle 2 would do.
Probably hilarious.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, That's been it. So congrats to those two folks there. The flock of nerds, of course, consisting of Miles and Catherine, who beat a lot of their games together, and one Cole McAllister, who just joined the ride. So thank you, Cole, for continuing on and beating some games for us there. And congratulations on being a Polykiller. If you hashtagged a game and you just beat it, you took a screenshot and you put it on Twitter, don't worry, it'll be on the Just Beat It video. And who knows when that'll be out, but soon probably.
Probably.
Okie dokie. All right. So if you are, I don't know, a sex position? I don't know.
I mean, there's multiple segues here. But
yeah, I need a good one.
I have none.
If you have a sex position you'd like to share, feel free to contact Caltech. This episode is sponsored by Calton Technologies, LLC. Caltech focuses on product development in robotics, web apps, mobile apps, home automation, or some combination of the above. To learn more or to start a conversation about your future product or idea, send an email to info@calton.tech. That is info@COWDEN.tech.
Alrighty, so if you like what you're hearing so far, be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Polykill Podcast. CartridgeClub.org is a website where we post our content over there, so check it out. The current game of the month for the remainder of September is Doom 2016, so play along if you have not. You can also find all of our content, as we mentioned at the top of the show, over at our own website at polykill.com. We got videos, we got blogs, and our podcasts are all available over there. If you want to drop us a line, send us a happy note, a nice nude, you can send that to polykillpodcast@gmail.com. You can also listen to us on Spotify, and you can also rate us on iTunes or whatever service you use, whether that's Podbean, Podcatcher, or whatever other word you want to put after pod or before pod. And you can also check our website at polykill.com. I already mentioned that, but you can also check us over on YouTube at youtube.com/Polykill Podcast, where we do pickup videos and other goofy shit.
Did you say something about a nude?
I did. I said if you want to send us a tasteful nude.
Oh, tasteful nude.
I don't know why I said tasteful. I said a good one, maybe.
Well, a good nude.
I don't know what I said. I was rambling there.
We're just having fun here. You were great.
Yeah.
You were great, but you slipped that nude in there. And I was, hello, Pete. All right.
Hello, Pete.
All right. Now for the foreplay, the games that we're grinding upon.
Right. The games that we're actually playing now. We haven't beaten yet. We've not finished them to completion, but we're still grinding.
Yes.
So for me, it's Hexapus Traveler. Also known as Octopus Traveler, also known as Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, that was like a two-layered thing there.
Had several branches to get through.
I took the Octo down to Hexa.
Right.
Took it down two. And then changed the path to Puss, which would have been Octopus, but I made it Hexapus.
Right.
Because that would be like an octopus missing two tentacles.
Right.
Which would be a Hexapus.
Correct.
Which would be a fun thing to exist.
Yes, it would be an insect.
Well, not if it's an octopus.
You're right. So anyway, yeah, so before I started playing Spider-Man, I was playing Yakuza Kiwami. I'd been playing that for probably a week and a half or 2 weeks, pretty steady. Got Spider-Man, beat it. So I've been kind of on this third-person action, hand-to-hand combat thing for a few weeks, and I just kind of wanted to take a step away from that for the time being, and I want to get back into Octopath Traveler. Keep that momentum going because I'm around 7 or 8 hours in, and I just want to keep pushing on that. I know that game is a little lengthy, 30, 40 hours or so. So
no longer than Spider-Man.
It isn't, and it's just as fun, and I love the battle system. So yeah, I'm not gonna keep on that. You guys know I love it. So
well, I'm glad you're still having fun with it. So that's what you're going to focus on.
That's probably what I'm going to focus on.
You know, I'm going to bring it up again.
Go ahead.
But we're nearing it.
We're
nearing. It's close to autumn.
It is autumn.
Is it officially?
Yeah, as of yesterday.
You son of a bitch. So it's autumn, and you still have a New Year's resolution hanging out there.
I do, and that's the only one I have left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but those games are big,
real big.
As far as I know, you've not really started many of them.
I've started all of them.
Is that a fact?
It's all also a fact.
All right. Well, let's see if you can do it.
Let's see.
I don't think you can. Are you worried about it?
I'm a little worried about it.
Yeah, you should be.
But it's also no stakes. I mean, what's going to happen if I don't?
I wish there were stakes.
We should put stakes on it.
We should have done that.
Yeah, like a nice
I think
sirloin.
you purposely said before we shouldn't put stakes on it because I don't want to have to do it. I think you said that.
That might have been something I said.
But yeah, so maybe you will, maybe you won't finish one of those big RPGs on your list.
Yeah.
Some of those included The Witcher, Persona 5,
Fallout
maybe Breath
4.
of the Wild. I don't remember if that was in there. Fallout 4 for sure. You could do that one, I think. That's the one.
Fallout 4 is one I have like 40 hours in already.
Yeah, you could probably knock that out.
I probably could.
All right, well, good luck with that. So
Yeah.
for me, I have been playing a little bit of Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
And I don't know if I have a goal in mind. I've just been kind of farting around, I'd say.
Just a little bit of farting.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what you do in that game.
It's mostly what that is. I mean, I know JD calls it his like Zen game, where you can just kind of go and it's oddly relaxing to play that game for the most part.
Right, and I don't know if I'm really accomplishing anything, which kind of bothers me deep down. I like checklists. I like getting through the logs, the quests, and that kind of thing. But I'll just find myself seeing if I can do something for 2 hours. I'm like, I want to climb that mountain to see if I can coast all the way to that mountain without hitting the ground.
I've totally done that.
And then I'm like, why? I didn't accomplish shit.
You didn't. But
I lost all my swords
on the way.
Yeah, I lost all my swords because they break constantly, and I accomplished nothing.
Do you have enough energy to get from like a high mountain to another high mountain? I
currently have like a full circle and then a little quarter of another circle on my meter.
That's not much.
It's not a ton. No. There's often panic for me in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, don't think I'm going to make it. Now, climbing a mountain's fun because I just look for like the next little flat spot and get there and stand there long enough to refill and then keep climbing. But
right. I mean, I don't know if you've done this because like I also like to climb mountains in that game. But it seemed like I just hit the worst weather when I'm doing that. And you can't climb the side of a mountain when it's raining because it's slippery.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So like I would get like all the way to the near the summit of this mountain, and then it would just come a good rain, and I couldn't get to the top. And then I would just have to glide back down and try it again. I guess in better weather.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Well, I'm having fun with it.
That's good.
I don't know what I should be doing. I feel like
there's probably like a quest in there or something. I think the point is to beat Ganon.
Yeah. I mean, that is, but I feel like that it's too soon. It's too soon, and it's hanging out there over my head. And I'm like,
I love how that quest though is there from the start.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's like don't forget.
Right, don't forget why we're here.
Don't forget, you got to beat this guy.
Yeah, so I've been doing the quest early on where you get like an album of pictures and you got to go to those spots and take that picture.
Yeah, I love that design.
I like it too because it's very open-ended. Oh, yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, very open-ended. But so far, I've only found one. They're kind of hard to find.
Yeah,
off the bat.
I think I've done like 4.
Get out of here! Really?
Yeah.
Huh? I didn't realize you played the game that extensively. It seems like a long time to get that.
I haven't played it in a long time, but I did play it a lot earlier this spring.
Okay.
When I got it. So.
Well, I'm going to keep plugging away on it.
You should
expect to hear about it for a long time.
Of course.
And then also blood cells.
Blood cells.
Now, those are important.
You should have them. You should have the red ones and the white ones, but not too many white ones because that means you're sick.
Yeah. Yeah, the red ones, they just kind of hang loose.
They do what they do.
Yep. This is, of course, a dead cells.
Right.
Which you could end up as dead cells if you're a blood cell.
Ooh, yeah.
Viruses and whatnot.
Right.
Let's not get too far into that. Let's talk about Dead Cells as a game. I put some time into it, maybe 3 or 4 hours, and just rinse, repeat, dying and not dying.
Right.
But I got to I got to the first boss. In fact.
Oh, you got to the concierge?
Yeah, I got to the first boss, and I was a hair away from defeating him. I mean, it seriously one more hit, and I was out of potion, and I was scrambling, trying to get my hits in, and he shoots some fire across the floor, nicked me, he got me, and I went down, and I just haven't had the gumption since to go back because I was so close.
Gotcha.
But
he's got pretty learnable patterns once you kind of get in there and fight him a little bit.
Yeah, I think my problem at that point was I just took my damage. I just take a lot of damage currently.
Sure.
And so I just had to be real. I think I maybe got lucky to get to him when I did. I think I need to get a little bit better before
boost your health with some scrolls.
Exactly.
I would say one of the most helpful things with that boss in particular is like those wolf traps.
Yeah.
Because you just lock him into place and he can't do anything.
I love the traps.
They're so good.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Great game.
Have you gotten any closer?
No, I got to near the end of the penultimate level, which is kind of like the final full level before the final boss fight. And the levels are so Metroid-like that I don't really know where I'm going.
Sure. Yeah.
So like I just kind of ended up, I would take a door and see where it goes. And I just kind of ended up kind of going down this rabbit hole to where I was in like what I assume is like the dungeon of this final castle, and getting locked in rooms with like 2 elites that are just beating the ever living shit out of me. And I got my health up to like over 8,500, so like I was a bit of a tank, really.
Yeah, that's
like,
a lot of
health. But man, they just got right through me. So. Yeah, it's just more to grind for.
Sometimes you feel like you're not making progress, but you get a little further.
Yeah, and you learn. This is the important thing to remember is just learn and honestly just take it slow. That's the key to that game is just to explore.
Yeah, and I think that was a good tip for me when you said that, because I was sort of just taking the first door I got to.
Yeah,
I thought maybe you want to get as far as you can in the game, but of course you do. You just want to take your time doing it, and that was sort of something that I kind of had to learn to do, because I thought maybe spending more time in this area was not a good idea because I could die. But the important thing is you want to take time beating as many guys as you can.
Yeah, because you get more cells, obviously, and then you know, they do have a chance. A lot of enemies have a chance to drop some of those scrolls that you can boost your health with. So,
yeah. So it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Lovely game.
Oh, absolutely. And then the other one I've been playing on a little bit. I'm losing some steam with it because it's getting a little boring, and that makes sense because you have sabotaged it here as Dragon Warrior.
Yeah, I did.
The third.
Yeah.
And it is an NES RPG, you know, but it's perfect for if I just want to zone out, listen to a podcast and
about cannibalism or whatever.
A lot of lately. Yeah, the Donner Party, man.
Wild shit.
Dude, if you have not read up on your Donner Party, like maybe, because I feel like in grade school they touch on it. They're like, and the Donner Party had a tough time, but they don't go into
they don't dive deep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you were telling me some of the details on our trip.
It's nuts.
That's insane.
It is nuts. Of course, I heard most of the content about it on the last podcast on the left episode about the Donner Party, which is a good resource. But if you can't take that kind of content, maybe just go to the wiki page and read a little bit.
It's crazy.
You probably didn't know a lot of the stuff. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, speaking of Dragon Warrior, a little boring.
Yeah.
Not as fun as cannibalism, believe it or not.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but what I do like about it, because I do have the complete box. So I have.
Oh, yeah.
I have like the manual and the maps and all that stuff.
That's really cool.
And the manual has a bit of a walkthrough in it. It just kind of tells you like where you should be, at what level you should be at.
That's handy.
That is super handy, because those games I just get lost so quick.
They knew that.
And they wanted you to. They wanted you to play it. You know, they wanted you to experience it as if you did. You know, you were an adventurer and you didn't really know where you were going.
Right.
I kind of like knowing where I should go in those games.
Yeah.
I ain't got the rest of my life.
I just don't think they had the resources on those old, memory space and all that to outline that within the game. That's why they threw that shit in the manual.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But it's super helpful. So I've been running through it and enjoying it because of that. But lately I've just been like, nah, I'd rather not. And I don't know if I'll finish it, honestly, but it's there for me if I do.
That's very cool.
Let's take it into the discussion. Now, I did a lot of karaoke last night, so I still got a little twinge of pain in the back of my throat.
I have a sore throat.
A lot of Eddie Vedder coming out of me.
Yeah.
But that's just how it goes. So
it happens.
Wasn't able to get full discussion there. But in this discussion, we're going to be talking about
sad things.
Sad things, I guess. No, it's not as sad as the Donner Party, but it is.
There's always some shit that's sadder. Yeah,
yeah, always, right?
There's always some sad
but it was still a gut punch, and this is a timely episode, and we just kind of thought maybe we'd reminisce about some stuff. So maybe you should lead off talking about some of the context here.
So, so we're recording this on the 23rd, and I guess it was probably around Friday or Thursday, just before this Sunday.
Friday.
News broke of Telltale Games laying off most of their staff, and I think they're keeping on a skeleton crew to like finish up some obligation they had to Netflix or something. There's like some weird
Minecraft, right?
Yeah, the Minecraft thing. So like I think that's all they're going to do. They pretty much confirmed, at least everything that I read up until now, confirms that everything else that was out there that they had announced, like Wolf Among Us 2, Stranger Things, have been canceled, and that they're probably not going to finish the final season of The Walking Dead, which is insanely tragic.
Oh, yeah.
Insanely tragic.
And I was sort of, when I heard the news, I was like, that stinks.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I was like, well, they've already announced the Walking Dead series. That means they're probably, pretty close to being done with it or done with it. And I'll at least get that bow,
Yeah, that final... Yeah,
I'm invested in a lot of their series, but that's the one that got me into them.
That's the one most people care about.
That's the one I wanted to see finished. But it turns out...
Don't think they're going to.
They're only going to finish the second episode, and maybe they'll try to conclude it briefly like that. I mean, it'd be nice. Having an attempt would be nice.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're scrambling trying to figure that out. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't really, taken a deep dive into the details on what led to the demise, but from everything that I remember about them, I know that they went through some layoffs before, and I think that, the general consensus is that they were just a poorly managed company in terms of financial allocations and all that sort of thing, and maybe spending too much money on buying up these license agreements. Maybe I don't know, but the sad fact is they did do a couple of massive things for like the modern gaming era, which is, kind of re-emphasize the narrative and kind of come back to strong writing and good storytelling, and kind of bring that point and click back that that was sort of lost.
The adventure genre certainly took off.
Yeah,
and maybe not entirely. We've had things like. We've had other adventure games, right?
Yeah.
You got the 999s and that kind of thing.
Right.
But in
the
terms
visual
of
novel style, yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of this sort of like the decision-making aspect and this narrative-driven component, pretty novel.
Yeah.
And well done.
Yeah, and then obviously with that comes I won't say copycats, but they influenced a lot of people to make this style of game, and there've honestly been a lot of shitty ones that have
Sure.
made the attempt, but it obviously without Telltale's The Walking Dead, we would not have had Life is Strange.
I was about to say that. Yeah, I wouldn't think that we would.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now, we're talking about Telltale and how sad this is, and I still kind of have this hope somewhere that something good will come out of this, and these people land on their feet and reform, and I don't know. I still we discussed it. This would be a prime opportunity for Microsoft to sweep in, buy this, make them a first party developer, get some Xbox exclusive Telltale games. I mean, how cool would that be? I can't imagine that would be hard for them to acquire, and I know Microsoft's been in a buying mood lately, but
Yeah, I'm with you.
That would have been
I guess because I thought of it,
Yeah,
or I said it at least. I expressed it. But yeah, I think that would be a great pickup.
I mean, it really would, because it's a recognizable brand. They already have these licenses. I mean, a lot would come with that package, but I don't see any movement on
and
that.
I don't know a lot about how that works.
Same.
I'm not going to pretend like they can just go out and do that.
Right.
There's probably some other things to consider, but it would be cool if it were to happen.
Cool. Just because I really want to see that style of game continue, and I'm hoping that the message from the closure of Telltale is not that the games that they were making were not profitable, but maybe there were other reasons that led to their closure and not this style of game, because I do love it.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about some other developers
that we loved.
Or loved.
We still love them. They just don't exist.
They don't. They don't.
No, they're like a dead dog from our past that we had as a kid. We still love them. They're just not around.
Yeah, I still carry their bones with me everywhere I go.
Yeah, I got my old golden retriever in this here cargo pants. Most of her.
That's weird. I was just joking though.
Oh.
Yep. No. So some of the ones for me. So you started off with Telltale.
Yeah.
I would say for me, Treasure is a big one.
Yeah, you mentioned them now. I wasn't terribly familiar with this name, but it turns out I'm familiar with some of the games.
Yeah. So some of the games now they're not. I think they're sort of cultly loved.
Okay.
I'd say that because they've had, successes like Gunstar Heroes, which is...
That's a big one.
It's a big one, but it's still kind of a cult classic. It's not on the same tier as like a Sonic, of course.
Sega, yeah. They don't immediately think... I mean, I think it's like second tier...
Sure. But the games, I mean, they were really known for, I think, getting the most out of the limited resources on those systems. They were ex-Konami folk that came together and formed Treasure. And so a lot of the games, especially if you think of Gunstar Heroes, really pushes a lot of what those consoles could do to its max. Just the visuals and the amount of flash and pizzazz. And then, of course, just the fun factor that they were able to work into it. So I really enjoyed Treasure games, notably Gunstar Heroes for a long time, but they also did stuff like Dynamite Heady. A lot of people are familiar with Ikaruga.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
That's a really big one, and of course it's very inventive. It's a very new take on, or very unique take on, the shooter genre, having to go back and forth between light and dark and dodge certain things. So that's really interesting and fun. You got things like Radiant Silvergun, also a big arcadey shooter series that people like. Silpy is another one. One that I think is interesting because I picked this game up recently to add to the collection. It's called Stretch Panic.
Okay.
For the PS2.
Is it about a limo?
It isn't. It's weird as hell. And actually, it's kind of... It was weird in a, awkward way when I bought it. I usually go and, throw the games in the system, see that they work, and play them for a little bit.
Sure.
One of these that I got, and my wife was with me when I was trying it out, and it's called Stretch Panic, and it has a cute box. It's like a little girl. She's got a really long arm.
You mentioned that your wife is with you, so this must get really weird.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. And it's about this girl that's got these 12 evil sisters or whatever, but she's the sisters are all vain.
Okay.
And anyway, the part of the game that I remember is that you run around a world where all the characters or all the things that you're like grabbing with the arm have giant breasts, like comically large, like mainly just boobs. And at that point, like, I could just feel my wife's faith in like video game ethics just drop a little bit, and I was like, I had no idea, because it's got like a cute little. It looks like a cover of like a Nickelodeon show.
Boy, is this on that set of ROMs you gave me?
No, in fact, but I will show it to you later if you're really interested. But it's just really zany. It's really weird.
That is so weird.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was uncomfortable playing it, and I don't know how it.
I mean, that's very weird.
But that was Treasure. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And then the thing about Treasure though is that they are not a defunct company.
They're just dormant.
They're very dormant, which is what I think is weird. They've not done anything at all since 2013, or 2014. They had Geist Crusher God, which was a variation of the Geist Crusher that they released on the 3DS and the year previous. But before that, they had Bang-I-O HD Missile Fury.
Their naming
2011
stuff is wild.
Yeah, it's a lot of Japanese stuff, obviously, but like. Nothing for years. I mean, they've only released since 2009 3 things, and they're not really.
They're still like listed, quote unquote, listed as active.
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, they're a private company, so I guess
they do what they want.
Yeah, they're not publicly traded, so I don't really know if they're.
Gotcha.
I don't know what they're doing, but as of 2009, that's the last update here for number of employees, 20 to 30 employees in 2009, and that's almost 10 years ago. Like, we don't know anything about them. They're very,
crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think maybe Treasure could be just a group of developers that do other things.
Okay.
And when they get around to it, they'll get around to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe they're defunct and nobody just knows.
Very strange.
Yeah, man.
Cool. So I'll bring up one here, and this one's probably a lot on the tip of a lot of people's tongue that are listening right now, but it's one that actually played a lot of these games, so I feel connected to them and am sad that they are no longer around, and that is Pandemic. They were a victim of EA, typical bullshit from EA.
Yeah.
But they made some of the best games of the the PlayStation 2 Xbox generation. They made Triple Play 2002 for EA before they were sort of like bought by them. So like obviously Triple Play series defunct now, but cool baseball game. They did Army Men RTS, and then they started. They jumped into an agreement, I guess, with Activision and then LucasArts later on to do some Star Wars stuff. They did Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which is actually kind of an underrated game, I think, in terms of Star Wars games. But then they did the much beloved Battlefronts. They did the first Battlefront and the second Battlefront, which are obviously massively loved. And they did a few, I guess, semi-original thing, like the Mercenary series. I don't know if you ever played those.
No.
But they're like third-person action games that were kind of lacked a little bit of flavor, but were pretty fun. They did Destroy All Humans, the first one and the second one. But the last one that I played from them, I guess, the last two, was Lord of the Rings Conquest. And this is one that a lot of people don't remember, I think. I'm not even sure how big this thing was, but it was essentially like a Lord of the Rings version of Battlefront. So it was sort of like a third-person action game where you could call in like heroes from the movies to come help you. Really cool, and it looked great back in the day. Like I don't know how well it will hold up now, but I really enjoyed that game when it was out way back when, and on that. I guess it was I played it on PS3 or maybe Xbox 360. And then they made the Saboteur, which had played a little bit, but it never really got into it. It also sort of felt like it lacked some personality, which is kind of the thing with them, is like unless they had an existing property to work with, their original stuff was kind of not great.
Okay.
But they were really quality games, really influential stuff, especially like the Battlefront series. Obviously, those are well loved within people's memories and have lots of nostalgia for those games. But, a typical EA sob story. They get bought up and then go kaput. But one of those teams that I think if they were still around, they'd be making some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because it's a good lineage, what they did.
Do you know anything about where some of the key folks might have gone to?
I don't. I really don't. Like, I tried to look up to figure out where they ended up, but I think that some of them ended up, sort of just scattered. I think some of them ended up at maybe 343 to do some Halo stuff, but like I don't think they actually went out and formed like a new studio or anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
One of my other ones was actually going to be Maxis.
Right.
Because they're dead to me.
They're dead, but they're still around.
They are still around. Yeah. They're making like sim stuff and, of course, mobile things for EA.
Yeah.
But I guess the part that sucks for me specifically is the SimCity series sort of had its death knell there in 2013.
Yeah, that was gross.
Largely due to, I think, EA's meddling.
Shit.
Yeah. And, I mean, just the design of the game was kind of poop. But there's also, I mean, you think back to like how creative they were back in the day before they were gobbled up by EA, and they were releasing things like, you know, the Sim Life stuff, Sim Farm, Sim Ant, Sim Copter.
I remember Sim Ant. How
yeah.
much is that?
Sim Golf, Sim Park, you know, Sim Safari. And those were all kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know, and they were, if anything, like slightly educational. Like, I learned a lot about how civics work because of playing SimCity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just feel like a lot of that's probably it's gone forever, at least for Maxis.
Yeah.
Because
definitely for them. Because they're just going to make marketable, probably cash grab shit for EA.
Exactly. And I guess this is sort of, you know, they're dead to me because I'm probably not going to buy. I'm not going to play The Sims.
No.
The Sims are fine. I'm just not interested.
Yeah. That's not how I want to spend my time.
And I just like the other, like, sort of God mode type games that they produced. And largely because, one, the aesthetic was always great, but they had a great sense of humor about it, too. While it was, like, largely supposed to be rooted in realism, a lot of, like, the little headlines and little stuff that they would do.
It's always fun.
Was fun. And they made it a video game and not just a boring, you know, blueprint for how to raise an ant farm. You know, they made it fun.
Right.
So yeah. Right. So I do miss those guys being what they were, even though they are still around and still probably doing well.
Yeah.
Given that, you know, they're under EA's umbrella and they're pushing out mobile stuff.
Not to die under that umbrella.
And the Sims will print money for them.
Yeah. Always.
Because, you know, you can release one Sims game and then you can release expansions for it for 13 years and people buy every single one of them.
Yeah. Costume packs and pads and new houses.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, so another one for me, and this is taking it back a few gens, is what ended up being called Acclaim Studios Austin, but was previously Iguana Entertainment. I have some very fond memories of seeing that Iguana Entertainment logo splash up onto my N64 screen.
Yeah.
And even before that, you know, they were responsible for like the OG NBA Jam, NFL Quarterback Club, Frank Thomas Big Hurt Baseball. They did a lot of sports stuff early on.
Good stuff.
But then in 1996 or 97, they dropped out a game that pretty much, I think it was more influential to me than GoldenEye, which was Turok, Dinosaur Hunter. I loved that game so much because it was, you know, a comic book game. It was something that was a little bit more zany. It was kind of fast-paced for the day, and I still love that game. I still remember the main God code to it for the cheats.
Oh, nice!
So it's a super fun heritage that they have. They went on to do some other things like Forsaken, which I don't know much about that game. I know it's another shooter, but
it's on the 64 as well, right?
Yeah, it
was, people liked it, I think.
Yeah, I think it even just got ported over to PC, maybe, or maybe some new stuff too.
Yeah,
which I know that someone did that for the old Turok games too. But yeah, they did all the mainline Turok stuff. So 1, 2, and then Rage Wars, and then Shadow of Oblivion. So they did some really cool Turok games and Evolution. So yeah. It looks like they kind of bit the dust around 2004, 2005. Essentially, I don't know if it took that long for them to close, but like I said, they went through like Acclaim, bought them out, and then sort of reshuffled. So, yeah. But anyway, Iguana Entertainment. I just have fond memories of seeing that cute big lizard sprawled across them letters.
Yeah, and one of the funner ones playing NBA Jam.
Yeah, we had
they
basketball.
were responsible for the port of that, or helped with the port, I guess. And he would have spinning the basketball on his finger.
Yeah,
very good cool memories. Stuff. You get nostalgic about little screens like that. Like if you're like fun. A PlayStation noise come on.
That one doesn't do it for me.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. And it's probably because I didn't pay attention to it as much.
Oh, okay.
The GameCube one does. Or if you hold down the button, it makes the squeakies.
I didn't know that.
What?
It does what now?
Like if you hold down what's the button where they're like
Z?
on the GameCube controller? There's only one. It's not on the left and right, but it's on the
Z.
It's Z. If you hold down Z during the powering it on, like it makes little like squeaky sounds like a dog toy instead of the
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't actually have a GameCube growing up.
Okay.
But I got one maybe when I was 20 or so.
I got you. Yeah, next time you turn on a GameCube, hold down that button.
Yeah, I feel like I was going to make the point, though, if I was a kid, I would have probably learned that.
You would have figured it out.
Yeah.
Because I figured it out.
Neat.
Fun.
Yeah, that is fun. You know what's not fun, though?
What's not fun?
Hudson Soft dying. Oh my God, I loved some Hudson Soft.
Boy, they've made some good stuff.
They did. The little bee. If I saw the little bee on a game, I knew I was going to have a good time.
Yeah, that's true.
And, dude, looking through this list, and I guess I'm not real sure what all that they've published and what all they have developed in this list.
Okay.
There is a lot of stuff. I'll go ahead and say that they did go defunct in 2012. It's been 6 years. But they were responsible for, even some consoles. They were responsible for the TurboGrafx. That was the Hudson Soft product. I think they had close tie-ins to Konami. I want to say that's true.
Okay.
And I don't know whether they were derived or parted from, or maybe it was a faction of Konami, sort of like the way that, what was it? Somebody had Ultra. I guess it was Konami also had Ultra.
Yeah.
Ultra games.
I think that's right.
I don't know if Hudson Soft was like that, or if they were just, a subsidiary. I don't know, but they are defunct. And they were responsible for some good stuff. Way back, especially some that come to mind are, of course, Bomberman.
Oh, yeah.
I think they had most of that series until, Bomberman R, obviously.
Yeah.
And they were responsible for, I think, porting a lot of really important games like Donkey Kong and a lot of like the black box games. I want to say that they did that. But, of course, Bomberman, and then Blazing Lasers was one that comes to mind about the TurboGrafx. They did a lot of stuff with TurboGrafx. Bonks. Okay. A lot of that stuff is just theirs in general for their own console. Modernly, I don't know what some of their last stuff was. I think maybe just Bomberman ports and a lot of stuff that stayed in Japan, a lot of mobile stuff. So they sort of fizzled out there at the end and were relegated to just basically Bomberman and iPhones. Okay. So that's probably a reason why they went away.
Yeah, that'll happen.
But they also did like really random. You remember Bloody Roar? You remember that game?
Yeah, I do.
Like, random arcade game where you'd walk past it and be like, is that a dinosaur? Can I be a dinosaur in a fighting game? That's kind of cool. It's not that fun, but it's like, that is a neat idea.
Yeah, Primal Rage did that too, which was fun. I don't think it had anything to do with that, but Hudson didn't, but yeah.
Yeah. So
and didn't they do like some publishing work on like the Adventure Island series?
Yes.
Because that's my strongest connection to them, because I randomly, somehow, I think someone just gave my sister and I a copy of it when we were young, which was Adventure Island 3. Mm-hmm. And I remember playing that game so much that I would hear the music when I laid down at night.
They also developed a lot of the early Mario parties.
That's
as
cool.
Well. Yeah,
very cool.
They did a lot of work with Nintendo.
Well, yeah,
especially
smart.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff, man. But defunct.
Yeah,
all gone. All that's gone. So that's sad. But I'm sure a lot of those people, a lot of those talents were spread around.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because they had their hands in so many projects. There's had to be a big team, big group of people. They don't just evaporate when the place shuts down. Yeah. They go places. So.
Right. They don't all just die.
Yeah, they fill other gaps in the industry. But it's just sad because you get attached to like a company or something like that, and it has a flavor to it.
Exactly. They kind of bring their own formulas to bear.
Exactly.
Which I felt very strongly. The strongest, obviously, formula is the Telltale formula. But like with anytime you saw the the iguana, you kind of had a feel for what you were going to be playing, even though the genres might be different. You knew that it was going to be, heightened reality.
Right.
And that's just kind of what they traded in.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much does it, though. I guess those are sort of our sad...
Super sad swan song.
Swan song.
I don't know if they're swan songs, but
reminiscence.
Yeah.
Is that a word, reminiscence?
Sure. We'll say that.
Okay.
We'll say that.
That's what that was. Yeah. So the little Telltale Pandemic Iguana Treasure Max's Hudson Soft. See you later.
Yeah. Peace out. I really hope something happens with this Telltale situation, but I doubt it will.
Worst case scenario, EA picks it up.
That is a horrible scenario.
And we might get a Star Wars Telltale game.
Yeah, that's true. We would.
But I don't know. It just...
Yeah.
I'd rather not have it at all, I guess. than for EA to make it weird.
Cannibalize it.
Have some loot boxes or something.
That would be horrible.
So it's easy. It's fun. It's like low. It's low to poke at EA like that, but I mean, they would do it. They'd
eventually fuck it up.
All right. Well, that does it for episode 76.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was fun. We got a little sad there at the end, but I think
we did.
I think we fill it with hope. Maybe something will happen.
Yeah.
You know, those games were, while they, I guess, financially flopped, and speaking about Telltale games,
right.
You know, those IPs are valuable, and a lot of those games, I mean, most of those games are really good. Tales of the Borderlands is one that people forget to talk about.
Always, and it's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, a lot of those are amazing. I think somebody will pick it up and run with it.
I hope so. And let it be said that this is just further, I guess, prompting to, like, if there is a developer out there that is making games that you like, you know, it may be small, but seriously try to buy their shit, right?
Yeah.
You know, because you want to keep people like that in business. If you care about this, you know, hobby and this entertainment, then, you know, if you have the chance to buy their game, make sure you go do it.
And I get going for the deals, and I get that. I mean, if they're going to be given, I mean, and that was a crazy thing. Like, all of their games were almost free.
Yeah, it was like $20.
Yeah, or you could get like a whole pack of like 5 series,
right, for like
$1.
Yeah, it was.
You know, there's some sales.
It got
like,
stupid. Yeah,
it's like maybe that was the problem.
Could have been.
You know.
I
would have gladly played more, but I didn't have to.
Right.
And a lot of times I would wait for the season to end.
Yeah.
And that's always a thing too. Like, I don't want to wait 2 months for a game.
Yeah. But that kind of, we didn't actually tie this back, but I'll do that now.
I was just working towards that.
Yeah, which is why, I mentioned when the Life is Strange 2 episode 1 drops, normally I'm like, you know what, I'll just wait till the whole season and play it all in one chunk. But at this point, I think I'm just going to go ahead and buy that first episode, you know, just to validate that they're on the right track, and hopefully keep Don't Nod and Square Enix paired up to make this series that I love.
Yeah, I mean, the flip side for me, I'm just going to wait for them all to come out and still buy it, but
right,
because I like to do that and have them all in one nice package and play them all together. And
sure.
And again, if they're going to make it cheap, I'll buy it.
Did you finish the Before the Storm? Did you even play that?
That's what I said. I haven't played the In-Betweener.
I meant Before the Storm. That's not the In-Betweener. That's the prequel.
Well, I have not played that either.
Okay.
I didn't know that there were 2 different things.
There's Life is Strange Before the Storm, and then Captain Spirit.
Yeah, I was considering. I thought Before the Storm was, I guess maybe chronologically released wise, it was the in-betweener between season 1 and season 2.
Correct.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Correct.
But you're saying it is a prequel. Yeah, I have not played that though.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. All right. Well, that pretty much does it for our episode. Thanks for hanging out and checking us out. Once again, you can find us on Twitter at Polykill. I am over there at Trav Plays Games.
I am at The McAxel.
And we are there likewise on Instagram with those same monikers. We are also on Facebook, facebook.com/Polykill Podcast. That is, if you're still on that cesspool, you can find us on there and like our page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, God, please. We have made some videos. We've done it. Please go there and subscribe and watch. Rate us on iTunes, specifically, or any service that you use. Polykill.com. You can find the blogs as well as the videos and the podcast. CartridgeClub.org is where ourselves and all of our friends from the Cartridge Club go and hang out. Check out the forums. Check out Musty Hobbits of the Second Breakfast YouTube channel. Check out the Now series that is on the Cartridge Club YouTube to get in on what's going on in the club. Once again, drop us a line. Send us a tasteful nude to polykillpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll catch you next time.
All right. Peace out.